Hi, my name is Charles Akira. This is my presentation on Goldilocks and the Three Bluebirds. Yes. Yeah. On this In this presentation, you will basically be seeing, like I said, on the board why, or my reasons. Well, first of all, I'll tell you the reasons why I chose the story. Then I'll basically show you my characters, poses, and so on. The reason why I chose this story because when I was little, I was really fond of this story. So now that I can actually create animations, really happy about that. I can now, like I said before, make one my own version because I believe being that I can make it better than what it is. So yeah. And these are the concept art from my bear character, the character I made that a few weeks ago, a few months ago, I don't know, some time ago. This, as you can see, if you've ever seen the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story before, the bears are different. That bear is different. Well, the only difference about it is the bear looks human. It looks more human than bear-like. But the reason for that will come soon shortly. The bear is now blue instead of being brown. That's because I asked questions and people said blue, and I said okay, blue. So that's a blue bear. And then the bear's name is Mitch. If you want to. And for the poses the bear will do it's because I love flying and everything related to violence, everything. I chose flying poses. Basically, the first pose he'll be doing is a punching pose, it's just a straight punch. And the line of action will be from basically, if you're doing that straight pose, it'll be from the part of there down there all the way to the end, which is the first pose. The second is a side kick, which, as it says there, same thing, from there all the way down there. The third one, is a back high kick, which I can do, but as you can see, it goes from there to there. And the fourth one is a jump kick, which I can't do by the school, so I can't do it typically. It's the same thing as the side kick, but instead you're in the air and your knees are more bent. And the final one is a high knee, which is, like I said there, high knee. And then as being me and all, I don't really use that concept. I don't really use artists for my research. I just do it myself. But because I had to, and it's a course that tells me to, I did. I ended up doing it in the end, and the one I looked at was Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Why? First of all, it's what I'm doing. So I used Goldilocks, and first of all, I went to YouTube, not YouTube, Google, and typed in images and looked at the Goldilocks and the Three Bears design, and from then I tried to implement it into my work. And for the house, I did the same thing, but the house did not turn the way I wanted it to be. The tools I used to make my bed, the main tool was obviously the polygon tool, and this tool was mostly because, well, you need the whole polygon tool to make the thing in the first place. So it's kind of common sense down. But I also used the stretch tool, the scale tool, and I used the stretch and scale tool to make the house. But for the character itself, I used the extrude tool because I use the box modeling method, which is when you use a box and turn it into a shape or a creature or anything. So I use that method to make my bear. And then I use the cut tool to make the multi-cut tool to make his eyes, which I could show you, but I don't have a picture there. The difficulties I faced along was the first time I tried to make my character, I used the quad drawing. I tried to use the quad drawing method, which is when you take a picture, put it into Maya, then you make a plane, you put the picture onto that plane, then you use the quad drawing tool to like trace over it to make a shape and extrude it. I tried that but it didn't work, so I just, instead of that, I went on to like making it myself using the same box modeling tool, and then it turned out better than the first one. And the evaluation, once I learned in this was, I believe that the first time I did it was trash, I'm not gonna lie, but the second time I did it was actually good because I took my time and it turned out the way I didn't expect it to turn out, but it was good in the end. But when it came to the house was disappointing because the standard I expected was not like what I wanted to be, because I wanted it to be where you could see the windows in the house, but because of time and lack of effort, I couldn't really finish it in the end. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Okay, feedback. Yeah.
Not really a feedback question. You haven't really mentioned the environment for your character, to be honest.
The environment, it's a house. It's a house.
And was there any concept art behind it?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
Like I said before, I didn't concept art is not really my style. I just prefer to create it off of my own mind because I'm a creative student, so I just use my own brain to make a house. The first time I did it, it was terrible. So then after that, I wanted to Google to see how a house is made, and I tried to model it that way, and that's how the second house was created, which I would have showed you, but I didn't. Anything else?
Anybody else?
Go on, then talk to me. I'm okay.
Okay.
Done.
Next.